Hi, welcome to the December vlog series where we're breaking down the narrative about the Nativity of Jesus Christ as told in the four Gospels. Yesterday's video was, wow, the three wise men, the potential links to the fallen angels. It was fascinating. It'll be nice to get back on track with the stories that we're more used to hearing. So today, Jesus and the family return from Egypt, return from exile. We begin in Matthew. When Herod died, an angel of the Lord appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt, saying, "Arise, take the child and his mother, and go into the land of Israel, for those who sought the child's life are dead." So he arose and took the child and his mother and went into the land of Israel. But hearing that Archelaus was reigning in Judea in place of his father Herod, he was afraid to go there. And being warned in a dream, he withdrew into the region of Galilee. And he went and settled in a town called Nazareth, that there might be fulfilled what was spoken through the prophets, "He shall be called a Nazarene." And Luke tells us that the child grew and became strong. He was full of wisdom, and the grace of God was upon him. And his parents were wont to go every year to Jerusalem at the feast of Passover. And when he was 12 years old, they went up to Jerusalem according to the custom of the feast. And after they had fulfilled the days when they were returning, the boy Jesus remained in Jerusalem, and his parents didn't know it. But thinking that he was in the caravan, they had gone a day's journey before thinking to go back and look for him, thinking he was just with a relative or a friend. And not finding him, they returned to Jerusalem to search for him. And it came to pass after 3 days that they found him in the temple. Missing for 3 days, and they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of the teachers, listening to them and asking them questions. And all who were listening to him were amazed at his understanding and his answers. And his mother said to him, "Son, why hast thou done so to us? Behold, in sorrow thy father and I have been seeking thee." And he said to them, "How is it you sought me? Did you not know that I must be about my father's business?" And they did not understand the words that he spoke to them. And he went down with them and came to Nazareth and was subject to them. And his mother kept all these things carefully in her heart. And Jesus advanced in wisdom and age and grace before God and men. What is happening here? Lots of things happen. First of all, they're visited by another angel who's really helping, who's really guiding the way in this supernatural story. Go back to Israel. Herod's dead. Joseph has in his mind, cool, we'll go back to Judea, right? He's the Lion of Judah. He's meant to be there. He's getting older. Let's go there. Let's go to Judah. We'll be close by to Jerusalem. But then he learns that Archelaus, one of Herod's 3 sons, is ruling there. And instead, being warned again by an angel, they divert and they go to Galilee, to Nazareth. And that's where they set up shop doing carpentry work. And this fulfilled another prophecy that Jesus would be called a Nazarene. Jesus grew, he became strong, he was full of wisdom and the grace of God. Now, his parents every year went to Jerusalem, and this was the basis of Jewish family life. Every year they would go to the temple, and as spelled out in the Torah, the Exodus, Leviticus, Deuteronomy, the sacrificial system ended up being built and in Jerusalem. And by the time of Christ, it's very much bureaucracy with gold cups, and you pay money for the state. It's not like it was back in the days of Moses when they formed it in the desert in tents. It's a kind of a big deal now, right? But you still have to do it. It's part of your culture. You go, the whole family goes. You buy grain offerings, you buy doves, you buy, if you're really wealthy, you buy the animal. They slit the throat of the animal. The blood drips down on the altar, and that physical blood covers the sin of the family for a year. It is amazing to me that we're told how Jesus is doing this, when Hebrews later tells us he's the once and for all sacrifice. It's awesome foreshadowing. Now, what do we make of what happens next? So they go to the temple. They do their annual thing. They're devoted Jews. He goes and is with the teachers and the scholars, and he's talking to them. They go to leave. They think Jesus is somewhere in the caravan. They're not even thinking about it. He has been obedient to his parents up to this point. But now, why is this story relevant to us? Because it's telling us that Jesus has reached the age of culpability. He is no longer under the faith of his parents and his parents' faith tradition. He is building his own relationship with God the Father. And his is more unique than any of ours could ever hope to be. It's fascinating. And he's sitting and having conversations with the teachers. And for 3 days, imagine looking for your kids for 3 days. And they find him. And Mary is sorrowful. Why is she sorrowful? Why is she so worried? They've been visited by angels the whole time. They knew what the stakes were. They've all been part of this crazy journey with these supernatural events. Do you remember what the prophet said to Mary in the temple after 8 days of the birth? He said, "Behold, this child is destined for a fall, and for the rise of many in Israel, and for a sign that shall be contradicted. In thy own soul a sword shall pierce, that the thoughts of many hearts may be revealed." What is she thinking then? The worst. Was this it? What happened? Then she gets to the temple, and Jesus is talking with all the teachers and scholars. Is that a fulfillment of this prophecy? Is this the part where she must suffer sorrow? Is this the part where a sword will pierce her so that the thoughts of many hearts can be revealed? The thoughts of many hearts are being revealed. They're all saying, this kid is marvelous. Wow. But it's not yet his time. And it goes on to tell us then, continuing, that they went back, Jesus went back with them, and they came to Nazareth, and Jesus subjected himself to his parents. He was obedient. And his mother kept all these things carefully in her heart. And Jesus advanced in wisdom and age and grace before God and men. So he's 12. His ministry is still afar off. I find it fascinating that in this passage here, we're told about Jesus going missing. Jesus returned, or Joseph brings him back from exile in Egypt. He follows the Torah. He follows the law. He takes them for the sacrifice. They find out he's missing. We don't really get to hear what Joseph thinks about it. We hear what Mary thinks about it. We hear from the teachers and the scribes, and we hear from Jesus. And we can expect that then Jesus went home and helped Joseph do carpentry. Some of the Gospels that came later that are not canon, like Thomas, write some really interesting stuff about Jesus using supernaturalism as a child and learning to control it. It's very interesting. There are not many links to the Gospel of Thomas that give it a lot of credibility, but it sure is interesting.